Hey there, ProStaff. I'm super excited to welcome you to my training videos for RA training. Can you believe it? Training videos for RA training. I know it sounds a little interesting and probably a little weird, but because I planned a lot of training with Deanna's base work, I wanted to make sure that you all knew where I was coming from in my thought process, and I was able to answer any probably pretty basic questions about the sessions. And then, of course, if you have any more in-depth questions, you can always feel free to contact me. I'll be checking my at mail.usf.edu address at least twice a day when I'm back home in New York at my own training. So, again, I just wanted to welcome you to our training. As an FYI, and I'm sure you already know, RA training runs from August 13th, and our last day is Friday, August 22nd. Technically, the 23rd if we're going to count move-in, but really our training and informational sessions will end by Friday, August 22nd. This does not include the weekends currently, but that is completely up to the discretion of the hall director if they choose to have an additional training session on the weekend days. So, just as kind of an overview of what we're going to get out of this training, we are going to get information from all different resources on campus: disability services, facilities, we have campus rec coming in, the USC, whatever you can imagine, and you'll be able to see it on the fall training schedule. There's also some really interactive presentations that are very educational in nature. First and foremost, the armed intruder training, which was at high request from the RA staff. In addition to that, we'll also have our fire safety and fire extinguisher 101 course with our folks from USF Tampa. So it's going to be a really awesome presentation. There's no doubt about that. Here's something that's a little new though. In order to assess what we're doing and to make sure that all the things we're doing are being appropriately used and our resources are being adequately allocated, we are going to have a pre and post test. So what I've done is I've asked all of our presenters to send me 1 to 2 learning outcomes that they believe that the RA should be able to achieve after listening to their presentation, in addition to 1 to 2 questions that the RA should be able to answer after viewing their presentation. So what will happen is I'll send out the pre-test before they get here for training. They'll have until probably August 12th or so to be able to do the pre-test. It'll probably be a Google form because, in case you haven't figured out yet, I am a Google fanatic. I think it's the Binghamton in me. And then they'll be asked to take a post test, which will be sent out after training, which one of you can take the lead on. It'll be sent out after training, and then the results can be compiled, and you can look at who really grew in some areas, who knew a lot coming in, who didn't know a lot coming in, and to make sure that they all at least got the majority of what we were looking for in coming out. In addition, I'll also be compiling a binder with all this information in one very central location, which will be included in the RA file box. That leads me to my next point, the RA file box. You'll hear me refer to it a lot in these training videos. It's my way of putting everything together for RA training so that way you all can be successful in doing your own training, getting your own work done, and having the RA training complete and just being able to go and grab it. So you'll see the RA file box, and I'll show it to you very briefly right now. We've got the RA file box right there. Okay, don't mind the blow dryer. Someone dropped their phone in water the other day because I experienced my first Florida mini hurricane and needed to dry out their clothes and dry off their phone apparently a little bit too. So, that being said, the RA file box will completely be your resource for anything that you may need regarding RA training. Again, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to text or call me. My number is 315-868-6578, or you can email me at napolitanoa@mail.usf.edu, or you can email me at my home address, which is anapoli3@binghamton.edu, and Binghamton is Binghamton. I hope I spelled that right. That was kind of awkward. Anyways, we've got a lot of great presentations, and each of them mostly is being conducted by an outside party, so there's not a lot of a lot of internal presentations, except for maybe on day 1 and then the last day of training. But you'll be able to, you'll be able to see that in each section. Now that leads me to my next point. Each of these videos will be posted in our RA Training Google site. I encourage you, or rather I strongly suggest, that you watch the videos for the day on the day before. For example, for day 2 for training, you should watch that video at the end of day 1 or before day 1 ends. I'll be able to give you some information in the Google site, so you should know when you should be watching the videos, so please try to follow that schedule as closely as possible. Again, if you have any questions, you have all my contact information. I'm really excited to have worked here, and I really thank you for the opportunity to work on your RA training schedule. As a new professional, it's really been an incredible opportunity. I can assure you that the summer staff is ready and raring to go. They're excited to get into fall RA training, and they're excited to really get the academic year rolling. And I will tell you that they've missed you all, and they've made that very clear to me that they're very blessed to have you all as staff and to have you all as supervisors. So again, thank you for this opportunity. And if you have any questions, you know my contact info.